Hello and welcome back. In today's video I'm here to give you 5 things which we learned from the game against Cardiff where we picked up a 2-1 away win. Isn't it nice to win games of football in the Championship, and long may it continue. Hopefully we take the confidence from winning away from home against Cardiff and take it into the Middlesbrough game this Saturday and get even more points. Wouldn't that be nice? But the first thing which I do want to talk about is about Jordan Clark, because I do think he's been okay this season. I don't think he's been as bad as some people have made out. For me, he's been the third best player this season for Luton. I think McGuinness and Alfie Doughty have been the 2 players better than him, but the rest I think have been, really below average, as we all know. Now Clark, for me, he's got 8 goal contributions this season. He had the exact same output in the promotion winning season, so if he gets one more goal contribution in the remaining 9 games, it would be his best ever season in front of goal for Luton. So it just shows you he hasn't actually been that bad. I know he's had some bad games, and I do think a lot of people are using those bad games and making it out that it's been happening all season. He's had a lot more good games this year than bad, in my opinion, but because the players around him are also not performing, it probably makes him look even worse, if I'm being honest with you. But Clark, this season, going forward, that's where he's at his most dangerous. He's not great deeper on the pitch. Defensively, he isn't great, and that does expose his weaknesses. But his strengths are when he gets on the ball in tight areas, his dribbling ability, progressing up the pitch. That's where we see the best of Jordan Clark, and he's scored some big goals this season. Portsmouth at home, Watford at home, and yesterday against Cardiff. That goal was outstanding. The technique in that strike was brilliant. The ball was further away from him, and he had to wrap his foot around it to volley it from outside the box. Definitely goal of the season for me. And isn't it nice to score goals from outside the box? We don't often do that, so I'm going to enjoy these goals from outside the box as much as possible. But for me, Clark, good performance. Really good performance against Cardiff, and long may it continue. I do think our midfield won us the game. I thought our midfield was better than Cardiff's, and that's what really done it. And that's why I believe we walked away with the 3 points. But what also helped yesterday against Cardiff was the subs and their impact when they came onto the pitch. Now, I've been very vocal this season about how our subs, when they come on the pitch, don't have an impact. Well, last night against Cardiff, they did have an impact. Ali, I thought it was great when he came on. He was causing problems on the left-hand side. He did start as a left wing-back, but as the game went on, he got moved to the left attacking position, which is his position on the pitch, and he was causing the Cardiff players problems. He sat 2 of them down and had a shot. Unfortunately, did not hit the target, but that's what he can do. He's not scared to, take a player on and have a shot at goal, and we've lacked that over the course of the season. Bowler, he came on, he had an impact for the second goal. He had a shot which then took a couple of deflections, and then it fell to Asgard. Right place, right time, he couldn't miss. I do feel sorry for Bowler because he's been brought in to play as a right attacker, and Matt Bloomfield has, since signing him, apologised because we've moved back to playing the 3 at the back system, which means we don't play with wide attacking players. We're playing with wing backs instead, and Bowler is not a right wing back, he is a right winger. So I do feel sorry for him, but he could easily sulk and, say he's not playing for Luton anymore. But no, he's getting on with it, and he's coming on the pitch and causing an impact and trying his best when he does get those minutes, and fair play to him. Zach Nelson was another player that came onto the pitch against Cardiff, really good at keeping the ball. I also felt him coming on into the midfield helped with the energy. I mentioned earlier how I felt the midfield won us the game, and it was because we had that energy to keep going throughout the whole 95 minutes. Burke, when he came on as well, defended extremely well for the last 10 minutes of the game. And Brown, he played a part for the second goal. So all of our subs made an impact, and it's nice to see that for a change because we haven't seen it. And you have to say fair play for Matt Bloomfield for making those substitutions. Big decisions in taking off Morris Alfie Doughty and also Walsh, because I thought Walsh was having a good game, but Zach Nelson, who replaced him, also did well when he was on the pitch. Now, with Matt Bloomfield, he's had a lot of stick from a lot of supporters because he hasn't got results, but he's not afraid to take big players off the pitch. And I have to say fair play to him, because if we had Rob Edwards in charge, I feel like the likes of Morris and Alfie Doughty, they would have stayed on. So under Matt Bloomfield, no, if you're not playing well, you're going to get taken off the pitch. And that kind of, I guess, moves me slightly onto our striker department, because yet again, the striker department isn't really doing well, and it's a question for Matt Bloomfield. Does he carry on with the same striker partnership, or does he change it? Now, Nordas, for me, we've signed him to have an impact. We've signed him to, provide competition for Morris and Elijah Adebayo, and we've not seen him much over the last couple of games. We all knew about the fitness levels involving Nordas because of Norway not starting their regular football season. So he was in pre-season in Norway. I like to think he's caught up now and he is up to match speed. But the fact we haven't seen him in the last couple of games is quite surprising. But I do think he should be starting alongside with Brown. I can't see any reason to start Adebayo, apart from setting up Morris for that chance in the second half. He didn't do anything else. He might run around, but I need a little bit more from him. His performances hasn't been great this season. Let's be honest there. He's been a massive letdown. And Morris as well. First half, I thought he was a lot better compared to the second half. First half, he was winning a lot of aerial battles, and that helped us progress up the pitch. But in the second half, he was massively at fault for the Cardiff goal, where he could have just cleared it away. And yeah, that chance after Cardiff got their goal, he hit it straight at the goalkeeper. I expect a player of his quality to really, get the goal there, and he didn't really do that. So yeah, not really much confidence involving the strikers, but with Brown having an impact when he came on against Cardiff, is there an argument to start Nordas and Brown on the weekend against Middlesbrough? Let me know in the video comments. And that kind of moves me on to my fourth point about last night, and that was lacking final product. Now, since Matt Bloomfield has arrived at the football club, the two things which we've really improved on compared to when we had Rob Edwards in charge is final third passing and also touches in the opposition box. If you don't get the ball into the box, you don't score goals. Let's be honest here. And against Cardiff, we outdone them on those two stats. 54 passes into the final third, and we also had more touches in the opposition box. So we did 54 passes in the final third. Cardiff had 43, and then we had 21 touches in the opposition box. Cardiff had 17 in our box. So we are getting into the right areas, which is very important. So if you're getting into those areas, you give yourself an opportunity to create opportunities. And that's something which we've been lacking this season, and we've been lacking goals. We all know we've been lacking goals, and we know that our strikers are not doing it in front of goal. But we are now getting into the areas, and I do think it's going to click soon, because I did see a couple of moments, especially in the first half, where we were getting in those areas, but we just lacked that final bit of quality. And I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I think sometimes when you're winning games of football and you put a ball into the box, every time it just looks like it clicks. Whereas right now, because we're not got that high in confidence attitude, sometimes we're half hitting the ball into the box and we're just hoping rather than trying to show some real conviction. Alfie Doughty, for example, that second touch in the first half where Walsh played the quick free kick. First touch was great, but if he got that second touch right, he could have played it across the 6-yard box. Easy tap-in for either Morris or Asgard, who was free, unmarked. And then Isaiah Jones as well, getting front-footed with an opposition fullback, half hitting a ball into the box. That final bit of quality, if he improves that, we are creating more opportunities. Walsh as well, he's retaining possession of the ball. Asgard, Clark, they want to be creative. They want to create these opportunities. So for me, although it's not outstanding right now and we're not ripping teams apart, we are improving and we are gradually getting better. We saw some signs of it against Sheffield United, but I did think against Cardiff, we did show even more signs of it. Now, yes, it did lack a lot of quality, and that's why I've mentioned lack of end product. But if you compare us to the last time we played against Cardiff, where we beat them 1-0, we created more opportunities last night than we did in that game. And I felt we were a lot better last night compared to the game where we won 1-0 at home. So I do think we are getting better under Matt Bloomfield. It's about showing even more confidence. And what was really good, and that brings me on to my fifth point, winning without Cal Naismith, because I didn't think it was possible. Since Cal Naismith has arrived at the football club, he's had a massive impact. Of course, getting sent off against Burnley didn't help, but without him last night, yes, there were a few moments in defence where, oh my God, could Cardiff break us down here? They didn't. McGuinness tried his best. I thought he did okay. Makossa as well. Without that leadership from Naismith, I thought he'd done extremely well. His recovery is fantastic. His pace as well, the power. So we are getting there. And it does leave Matt Bloomfield another question. What's the defence going to be like against Middlesbrough on Saturday? Now, out of the three centre-backs that played against Cardiff last night, I would drop Bell, because I didn't think Bell was great last night, in my opinion. I thought McGuinness was better, and so was Makosso. So I would play Cal Naismith as that left-sided centre-back, and he could guide McGuinness, and he can also guide Makosso along the back three. And I think that makes it a very strong defence going into the game against Middlesbrough. But that is a question which Matt Bloomfield has got to answer, because Cal Naismith, for me, is a guaranteed starter with the way he's playing. But does Cal Naismith start on the bench? And also with Reece Burke coming back as well, gaining fitness, lots of questions in defence. So it's nice to actually have players available now. But yeah, going forward, there's a couple of questions that need to be answered. But it's good to have these questions now. As before, we never really had them, and yeah, we're winning games of football, which is nice to see. So yeah, those are my 5 things which we learnt from the game against Cardiff. Let me know what you learnt from the game. While you're letting me know what you learnt from the game against Cardiff, please also smash that like button. It helps me out massively. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do lots of Luton Town content, and also I do EFL content, so please subscribe if you are new. Don't forget to follow me across all my social media. The links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.